I wanted to talk about one way of being that I've found makes things a little easier, which is to, if you have a list of things to do, either in your head or written down, I think it's useful to do the one that you have the most resistance about first. Or in other words, the thing that seems like it will be most difficult or uncomfortable in some way. The reason I believe that it's best to do that first is because if you put it off, then on some level, even if it's semi-conscious, you're going to be thinking about that thing that's lingering. And that dread, it doesn't have to be full-fledged dread, but like uncomfortable anticipation of doing that thing is going to affect your life until it's done. And so anything that you choose to do before that uncomfortable thing, whether it's a physically uncomfortable task or something that's really boring or uncomfortable conversation that you need to have, some kind of communication thing, it's going to be affecting everything that you do between now and when it's done. So I think a lot of times, we have this natural tendency to put something off and to make sure that we don't do this uncomfortable thing right away because it's uncomfortable and we want to delay it. But the problem with that is that everything else is so influenced energetically between now and when it's done that you're not really enjoying the other things. And so getting the problematic thing out of the way, you might feel resistance, you might feel like you got to push yourself a little bit, but it's going to lighten up everything afterwards. So if you do let's say there's 3 or 4 things you got to do. There's number 1, number 2, number 3, and there's number 4. And so if you do number 4 first, this is the tough thing, then all these other things you do afterwards, they don't have that lingering energy associated with what you have to do associated with it. Whereas if you do these other little things first, then there's that big towering uncomfortable thing in the future and you're going to feel more tight and resistant. So sometimes there's a natural flow to things, and so it makes more sense to do something that's difficult a little later in terms of the timing of the day, if it requires daylight or whatever. But beyond those extenuating circumstances, I've really found it helpful in reducing anxiety and enjoying the flow of life more to take care of the tough things first. And I wanted to pass that on in case that idea is useful for anyone else too. You're cute.